I'm Jacoub Reyes, and this is HiBrow. So, my name is Jacoub Reyes. I am a printmaker and installation artist based in South Florida. I love working with the community. That's first and foremost like what I do. I bring my techniques of wood carving to different communities and share these techniques with them free of charge, which is the best part. So that really pushes me into a further realm of my personal practice, because the conversations that we have, um, together are really important. We can't really forget our past, and we do have to live in the present. But there's also hope for a future, that we can share and build towards. So hopefully that's what my, art embodies through these conversations that I'm having with myself and with the community. Um, so I hope to encourage people to, look within themselves and to, evoke that kind of inner transformation as well. Because I think that's really powerful in helping um, our community grow and change with the times. So, as a woodblock printmaker, what I do to make my woodcuts is I usually find pieces of wood. I take a pencil and I draw directly onto the prepared block, and I make sure that design is mirrored. And then I take my wood gouges, or they're also called chisels, and I carve out the surface. I get some ink and I roll it with a brayer on the surface. I usually take a piece of cloth and I lay it over the design, and I take a baren and I rub the back. And I do this sometimes for my really large wood blocks. It takes about an hour. And then I do a really exciting big reveal. So that is the whole woodblock process in a nutshell. So I love to collaborate with different communities, usually um, marginalized communities that often a lot of people don't know their stories. So amplifying voices is super important to me. So those are usually the communities I love to bring my personal practice to hopefully encourage, feel empowered to tell their story and to make their voices heard. I want to make art accessible to all, which really comes from my background of volunteering and teaching. I taught various groups and learning abilities. I think we are creating history right now. So why can't we be a part of it? Um, so that's mainly why I do my community. Growing up in the tri-state area, I had access to museums, to galleries, to science centers, to libraries, and that's really where a majority of my workshops and work takes place. Um, are these shared spaces that are available to everyone? Um, so what I've seen in my own life, reflected in these public programmings, are more curiosity, more questions being asked, especially to systems that take authority and take precedence over our society. Um, it really makes me, try and ask those important questions, or try to find out why things are the way they are, to uh, make my own conclusions, and to create a space for others where we can talk about these things in an open and free environment, away from, judgment, and away from all these other things that we might hold against other people or hold against ourselves. So um, that's what public areas have afforded me, and that's why I want to extend those things out to our community, so they can continue to explore within themselves. So, like I said, a lot of my practice is based on found materials. So when I make these kind of like larger than life installations that people can actually walk into, interact with, um, those are made possible through basically finding these materials by being a part of a community like Broward. They have enabled me to do these larger than life projects, and really what it came down to was collaborating with different groups. Call up family members, see how you can make this all possible. And those are things that you can do that are larger than life, that are very low cost. Those are resources available to you. The library is open. The library has books that aren't necessarily online. So um like I said, it all starts with that curious spark. What do you want to explore? What do you want to talk about? Why do you feel the need to talk about it? And are other people in your circle talking about it? Maybe as a group, you can also explore those in different ways. So you can start with a prompt and then everyone does something different. So having those think tank moments, having those brainstorming moments, I think will help us all collectively to where we can understand each other on a different level. As a BIPOC artist, I can I was really moved to excavate my family history. I think so many of us, kind of take where we come from, or our grandparents' stories, as commonplace. Something that might always be there. And as I continued to get older, I saw these people kind of disappearing, and with them went their stories. It went their experiences, all these things disappeared with them. And all we had were photos sometimes, not even all the time. And I said, what is an act of love and an act of resistance that I can do while these people are still around? And that really, it kind of lit that fire where I was like, I need to interview my family. I need to interview my friends, Um, I need to start, taking pictures, collecting, voice recordings, having, archiving all my personal history. What has my family gone through so that I'm afforded these opportunities in the mainland America, That process has helped me understand a lot about myself and like where I came from and why I'm passionate about those things. There's a large movement with, like plants and botanicals and natural resources and sustainability, but those were commonplace in my ancestral heritage, So looking at those practices and applying them back into my life was a way to preserve that history as well, to hopefully, pass it down to other generations, as we go into a technologically saturated world that may have not documented those stories, may have not documented those practices. If it's not online, does that mean that it's lost? So yeah, digital preservation and archiving is something that I wouldn't say is new to me, but it's something that I have ramped up in my studio practice. And that includes, documenting how I'm making my woodcuts, um, everything extends into the present day. It comes down to categorization, like what certain people value, and I'm the type of person that values the absurd. I love things that seem boundless. like art that was created um, through an experience, art that was created by mistake, art that was created, through collaboration. These are things that I like to explore and do. Um, I think that is still somehow considered lowbrow as well. Really, anywhere that's like outside and around plants, that's something that really gives me joy and rest. So, my favorite place in Broward to eat is actually my house. An iPad, a charger, and a big cup of water. So those are the three things that I need now that my practice has shifted more digitally. Um, Not having a fear to fail. Um, my daily practice is actually based off of failure. Um, the curiosity, always having a sense of curiosity. So I would suggest that, and then I would also suggest a notepad. So writing those ideas down, a lot of my sketches are actually just lists. So that's how I get all my ideas out. So a lesson that I learned as a child is don't limit yourself because you have limited resources. You can do amazing things with very little. So I would love to have dinner or a little cafecito with Belkis to kind of pick her brain and see how she created her work and what she was interested in outside of art would have been super enlightening. So my final thought would be in the famous words of Jerry Springer: be kind to yourself and be kind to others.